So I wanted to share a very basic, very profound meditation that you can do at any time. You could even do it while you're waiting in line at the store. And it's just fantastic. It's called 1 minute breath. And the full practice of it would be a 20-second inhale, a 20-second hold, and a 20-second exhale. And that can be a lot to ask for, but we can develop our lung capacity and learn to hold our breath a little bit longer and more comfortably. But we can start out with 5, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, you get it. So it's nice to do some warm-ups first, some spinal flex, or if your spinal flex is opening the spine, some breath of fire, things like that. If you're familiar with these practices, I find Sat Kriya to be really great to open up the lungs as well. But basically just do the best you can. So we'll go over how to practice and some benefits and things like that. And then we'll do maybe 3 minutes or so just in this video, just to go over it. And it'll be more guided, just so you can have some tips for practice for when you apply it on your own. So some benefits. Yogi Bhajan said that the average person breathes about 15 to 22 breaths per minute. And if we can breathe 8 times or less per minute, we'll stimulate the pituitary gland, the command center, the master gland. So when we do that, we can more observe and not be controlled by emotions and cravings and things like that. We can be a little more in control, and our system can begin to balance. The glands, all the glands can begin to balance if the pituitary is stimulated. 4 breaths or less per minute, he said, would stimulate the pineal gland, our crown chakra, as we would call it in yoga subtle anatomy, basically. And from that could be more our spirit. Rather than be guided by the world or our environments or our cravings and emotions, like I just mentioned, we're more guided from a larger perspective, something that's a little bit greater than our limited sense of self. And less than that, we create a coordination between the two, so that spirit, that sort of unlimited perspective, you could say, or the perspective beyond our limited perspective, becomes in balance with that becomes the commanding sense. We're commanded by our spirit and not guided by our emotions, by the past, by our traumas, by our immediate environments. We're guided by our intuition and what we know is right. We're guided by the heart, and we share with others. And it's an expanded sense of self type of feeling. He also said if we can breathe once per minute, we can command all the cells in the body. And if you're familiar with the Iceman Wim Hof, you can see he has a lot of studies that are really showing he can command his system. And this is all it is. It's the breath. It's slowing the breath to create balance in the body in any situation. So it doesn't matter our circumstances or anything. We can relax, we can slow the breath, and we slow the mind. Yoga has said and other traditions have always said there's a very intimate, direct link between the breath and the flow of the mind, of emotions, of the whole physical body. If our breath is mostly involuntary, but we're able to control it voluntarily, then we can have control over our autonomic nervous system and our immune system and all of these other systems that we think are not under our control. Anyway, you can see it through the experience. So let's go over some tips for practice. So tips for practice, we want to be seated nice and evenly on the floor. If we're sitting in a chair, we want to feel seated evenly. We want our feet flat on the ground. Ideally, shoes would be off, but like I said, you can do this while you're in the store or sitting on a bench or waiting in line, whatever. So just feel balanced within yourself, basically. Feel nice and stable, and don't push it. It's a very relaxing practice, and although we're holding the breath, we want to do it in a very relaxed way. We don't want to strain or force or need to gasp for air at any time. So the breath is going to be through the nose the whole time, the inhale and exhale. The eyes will be closed and focused in and up at the third eye point, or just relaxed. I like to focus there. When we focus the eyes there, the mind really becomes consolidated. A lot of our awareness, a lot of our conscious awareness is focused in the eyes, the visual sense organs, I guess you'd say. So when we focus the eyes to one point right there, we really consolidate a lot of our mind, a lot of our mental energy, and all of that stuff. We focus the eyes and we focus the I, like the ego, I like to say. So we can do that and focus there, and from there we want to perceive the whole body. We want to perceive everything going on in the body and just allow things to flow. The breath will change the flow, so just totally observe the body and what's going on, sensation. And even if you don't feel sensation, that's a feeling too. So just perceive, be with exactly what's going on as it is. Don't try and change anything, and apply the practice and see what happens. So we're going to be nice and relaxed. Spine is straight, chest is open, and the chin is slightly tucked towards the chest. Hands are relaxed on the knees. Close the eyes, and we'll be inhaling very slowly, filling from the belly, really deep in the belly, expanding the lower belly, then a little bit up, expanding the ribs and the chest. And if you want to squeeze a little more air, I know people don't, other yoga people might not be so into it, but you can inhale and just squeeze a little bit more air in to get the top of the lungs. And when you're holding the breath, totally relax. And when you're holding the breath, you want to totally relax when the breath is held. So if I squeeze a little more air, my shoulders might go up, but I relax them, and I'm physically relaxing any tension that's not needed to keep me sitting straight up, to maintain my posture. So just using the bare minimum amount of energy needed to keep me sitting straight up. So I'm relaxing. Just scan through the body. You can feel there's tension in the hands, the shoulders, the face, and just continuously relaxing it. You may get tense, just relax it. Sometimes a thought may come and we may get tense somewhere else. Just relax it and keep doing that as the breath is held. And then when you're ready to exhale, you slowly relaxed exhale, starting from up top, relaxing, exhaling down the chest, exhaling the upper belly, and then lower belly, and exhaling all the air out to make room for a nice, fresh, deep inhale. And then you just keep repeating. And I have done this with counting so that I actually know the amount of time. I've done it with a recording, so I know, like a mantra recording, so I know the cycles. And I've also done it with doing a mantra mentally. From what I've read, Yogi Bhajan recommended using either sa, ta, na, ma to count, and you can do that in cycles, do a few cycles of it, knowing that maybe one cycle of it takes 5 seconds or 4 seconds, depending on how quickly or slowly you recite it. So you'll have to figure that out. So Satanama, infinity, life, death, rebirth. That was a typical translation he gave for that. But it's a nice way to balance yourself. Those sounds are very elemental, and they can bring a lot of balance to your being, to the psyche, to your whole system. So that's a nice one, cycling through that. Okay, I'll do 4 cycles, 3 cycles, 5 cycles, whatever it may be, for the inhale, for the hold, and for the exhale. We want to keep each of them equal. Or Waheguru. That was another one he recommended using. I think just Satanama and Waheguru. Those are the 2 that I've seen him recommend for a 1-minute breath. I know there's different breaths, but that's what I've seen. But do what's comfortable. And I've even found just counting mentally really works too. That's relaxing. Maybe to some people that might be even more relaxing. So let's go through it. We'll do 3 minutes. And it'll be very guided. Remember, just relax very deeply, focus in and up at the third eye point, and we'll go through it. Do the best you can. Find the amount of time that works for you. Start with 5 or 7 per inhale, hold, exhale, and see if that works. If that's easy, then go to 10. If that's easy, go to 12. And if that's okay, stick with 12. Just stick with the time that you can is very sustainable and very relaxing. This can bring so much balance and so much relaxation, but also a lot of energy to the body. The breath is, oxygen and food basically are the 2 things that generate the energy in our body. So we can feel good and energized at any time. We really don't need to turn to coffee or things like that. We can do it with the breath. We can absolutely feel energized with the breath. We can feel relaxed with the breath. Whatever is needed, we can influence the breath in different ways to work different systems, different invoke different states, invoke different energies. And this is also good if you have an intense emotion or don't know what to do. Yogi Bhajan said it's the law of intelligence that when you control the breath or when you hold the breath, your body consolidates, your prana, your mind all consolidates, because it's going to go into not survival mode, but closer to it. If you're holding the breath and there's no breath coming in and out, then the mind has to consolidate and come to its source. So you can have a very profound, anybody who denies the existence of the soul, tell them to do 1 minute breath. That's what I always say. 30 minutes of 1 minute breath, I think, is the sweet spot. But any amount of time, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 11 minutes is great. 30 minutes is my absolute favorite. So let's do the best we can. The first one will be pretty guided. It probably won't, maybe it'll be 10-second holds or so. And then we'll just do 3 minutes in the video, and then on your own practice you can do whatever amount of time you'd like. So let's close the eyes, sit up straight. Focus in and up at the third eye point between the eyebrows. Hands relaxed on the knees. Let's inhale deep. Exhale. And begin a nice slow inhale. Nice and relaxed, slow inhale, very controlled. And when you become filled, squeeze a little bit more air in. Keep the breath held and relax any unnecessary tension in the body. Focus, feel every sensation. With the mind seated at the third eye point, perceive the kingdom of the body. Perceive the whole body. Be at the command center and be aware of the whole system. And now slowly relaxed exhale through the nose. Listen to the sound of the breath. Push all the air out, pulling the navel point in, contracting the ribs, and take a nice, again, repeat, deep, relaxed inhale, and continue for the remaining time. Especially while the breath is held, let the prana, let the breath distribute to every cell in the body. To conclude the practice, you can dissolve the technique on your next exhale. Of course, if you'd like to continue, keep going, but this is where we'll cut it. There's plenty of amazing benefits, immediate benefits from 1 minute breath, from holding the breath. I can control our whole internal system. And you'd be surprised, it can seemingly control our environments as well. It can be relaxing for those around us and can be highly beneficial for everyone. So we can learn a lot from our breath, and we can see who we really are. So I hope you practice this, and I hope you enjoy it and apply it whenever you can as a daily practice or as an in-the-moment practice. And keep an eye out for other videos, of course. I hope you benefit from it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Salam.